What's up, guys? I'm in Barcelona right now, but you're about to watch an interview with one of my students, Daniel Perri. He has sent 15 value first outreaches, only 15. And he's landed about 30% of all the people that he's sent the value first to, including multiple UFC champions and other big YouTubers as well. This is gonna be a lot of fun because he actually landed a ton of clients using my free content. He's now in VP Plus and he did it all through value first outreach. And I wanna throw this interview to you guys for free to check out. So enjoy and let's crush. So Daniel, what's going down? Welcome to the channel, brother. How you doing?
Not too bad, Jack. How are you, man? It's good to be here as well.
Doing great, brother. It's good to have you here, bro. I think we're gonna drop a ton of sauce on people, man. The clients I've seen you landing recently are absolutely cracked, so this is gonna be awesome. But real quick though, for anybody who doesn't know you, can you give us a little intro to yourself?
I'm Daniel Perri from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm currently working with FaZe Apex, Deserto, Robert Whitaker. Done kind of correlated work with Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski, and a couple other established UFC fighters. And I'm normally working with podcasts and creators and helping them scale with content.
Those names are like, oh yeah, you know, this massive UFC fighter and this massive, and like, do you have some positioning because you're over there in Australia? Was that an in with the Izzies and the Alexander Volkanovskis?
Nothing, man. Nothing to do with that. It was literally just a cold DM. One championship fighter, I reached out to him. I said, yo, can I do some of your content for free?
Sick.
And pretty much after that, he said, yeah, let's run it up. I did a bunch of free work for him continuously. And then he's like, yo, I just dropped a podcast with Volkanovski, next one, Adesanya. And I was doing all that stuff for free, man. And then they started reposting. And yeah, that's how it worked. It was completely for free, all of that, the ones from the start.
Huge. But that's so important though, bro. It's like most people come into the game, like I've seen a lot of people come into the game. Usually these people don't make it entitled, like I'm owed this, I'm owed that. It's actually why like the people who crush it the most come from a passion perspective where like you clearly rate those guys. You watch the UFC, you're a fighter yourself. I see the clips of you training on Twitter all the time. So it's like you just liked it. You thought it was cool. That gave you kind of permission to be like, all right, I'm fine to do some free work here. You built a foundation and that rolled into some really cool stuff. But listen, you're doing like 5 to 6 grand a month right now. How did you actually land these clients?
Well, first thing I did was pretty much the value first strategy. I found certain holes in their game, you would say. I tried to go more strategic. I didn't really send much volume when it came to value first. Yeah, pretty much I'd see their long form content, edit a short and send it through. And mind you, I'm a 6 out of 10 editor as well. I'm nothing crazy.
There we go. Shout out to the 6 out of 10s in the world, baby. We keep crushing regardless.
Like half these clients, I didn't require no After Effects use or anything like that. So that's why I want to preach to obviously the people out here too. You don't have to be the craziest editor. You just need to know the basics and fundamentals of structuring a video. In my opinion, especially with shorts as well, know how to structure a good hook. I would just kind of scroll through and I'd kind of tailor my YouTube recommended feed to podcasts or newly up and coming content. So I'd engage with stuff like that. And then sometimes the inbounds would actually just pop up from the YouTube feed. They'll just pop up, a new podcast is out. They've only been dropping for 2-3 weeks. So then after that, I kind of just edit up the short, send it out straight away.
That's badass. So it's a timing thing where it's like, we were just speaking about this before I hit the record button. You just had a another big UFC fighter who, you know, I don't know if you closed him yet, so we don't have to name drop the name, but like they're in your DMs, you're talking to them, they've retweeted the post.
I name drop because it's pretty much retweeted now. He's got me on his page. So yeah, Belal Muhammad as well.
Huge.
He's a former welterweight champion, #1 ranked UFC fighter currently in the welterweight division. Yeah, I reached out value first again, same thing. I just saw he launched his YouTube channel. After 3 weeks, I said, yo, mind you again, I have 200 followers, so nothing, no clout.
So good,
yeah,
bro.
I said, yo, I saw you just dropped your YouTube video. I edited this short and I tried to pick the correct time as well to match his time zone. And then pretty much, I got that repost response and his team's pretty interested.
That's so good. But again, like you sniped that. Like when you were telling me about this, he just launched his YouTube channel. You know, he's done like 3 videos. So clearly like they're in the inception stages. They're still building their team. You saw there was value to provide. You took the content, you made it better. You tagged them in an edit with a value first on social media. They naturally saw it. Belal Muhammad retweeted it. And you know, now they've jumped in your DMs. You're talking with the team. And you know, it looks like you're closing another huge UFC fighter. This is sick. But I think like so many people hear value first and they're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I got to do an edit for free. Like, why can't they just fucking hand me a bunch of money? I think they come at it from a very like entitled perspective. What's your advice to the guys maybe out there, the guys and girls who are doing value first, who hear that it's a good strategy, who hear about the success stories like you, but who maybe aren't getting any results with it? What's your advice to the value first outreachers who, you know, haven't maybe had the success you've had so far?
Okay, well, my opinion in terms of the value first stuff is pretty much what's worked for me at the moment is try and be more strategic with your play. Yes, of course, you know, volume negates luck. That's a standard quote, but try and be more strategic with your play instead of just shooting your value first out to just people you think have a lot of money and have a lot of cash and can just pull in good income for you. You got to actually try and target someone that specifically is suffering from that constraint. In terms of my experience, that's where I've seen my biggest success. Someone that looks like they're dropping content, but they don't have a shorts department going on, or they're just genuinely not seeing the results in a specific area that you feel like you can genuinely solve.
That's big. That's big. You come at it from the sniper perspective rather than like the machine gunner just spraying and praying. One thing you said there was good was that you aren't just going after anybody who you think has money. You're strategically looking for them and saying, is there value to provide here? AKA, they're doing long form, but they don't have short form. You've done it with like a cherry pick kind of strategy. How many value first do you think you've done so far in total?
Honestly, you would be surprised, but I reckon a maximum of like 15, 20. Like
that's
15,
crazy.
20,
That's hilarious.
I swear to you as well. I can show you through my email scroll. I reckon around 15, 20. Yeah, from currently what I've been doing.
So your close rate's like 35%, or you close like a third of all the people you've ever outreached to.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's crazy. It's crazy how it is.
That's sick. So do you, like again, just to touch on this, to provide as much value, because there's so many people watching who some have had a bit of success, some like just genuinely haven't had success with the value first. Is your advice to target a niche you genuinely care about, so it's not that much work to put the effort, like that extra effort that you're putting in to really like audit the channel? Should they go after only niches that they're like passionate about and interested in?
In my opinion, I think it depending on if you're asking this question to a beginner or you're asking this question to someone who's a little more intermediate, already has clients.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe for someone who's just a straight beginner and done nothing along those lines, kind of just getting into editing, I'd say yeah, do the stuff you like, and that's where you can really garner all the free work and all the the testimonials, and use your same strategy. The game gets greater later, you know.
There we go.
So
we love it.
But yeah, if you're more of an established creator, I feel like it's still necessary to target people that are kind of outside of your passion. But if you actually do notice a little gap in the market, in the sense of like there is something you're passionate about, then you can stick to it. But I'd say more so as a beginner, it's easier to target what you're passionate about. But then later on, it's kind of some ways you do have to pivot. Like at the same time,
yeah,
I do want to niche down a little bit more into minimal creators, the same stuff that you've been preaching. Some guys are maybe 600 followers, a little bit less established as well, because in that sense you can provide significant value. Like again, from your stuff, if you get them from 600 followers to maybe even 1400 followers, it's a significant difference. With big creators, they don't always see the value, so that's maybe the negative of going straight for big creators.
Yeah.
So I'd say maybe as a beginner, you may not have the credibility, but the times you can do free work, it can also build you leverage to actually work for a couple more established people, because that's actually how at the start I worked. I still managed to get myself through to established people because I was happy to do the free work.
I agree with that 100%. Naturally, like if you are trying to go from 0 to 5K, you could do that off like 2-3 clients realistically. So you can just sit in the passion zone and only hit a niche you care about, only hit an issue. Like there is obviously a certain point where you've probably milked it. Now, maybe you become the guy in that niche, which can happen, and I've seen that happen. But realistically, if you guys have hopes to go to 15, 20K a month, you're probably going to end up building a bit of a team and outsourcing to them, and then B, also probably hitting some niches that maybe isn't your favorite thing in the world, but you're passionate about creating content nonetheless. And if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So you're making money off of it. So that scalability aspect, you naturally have to hit a larger demo, and that probably means hitting some different niches. So with the position you're in right now, Daniel, I would assume you've probably started to like hit the upper end of the amount of work you can handle yourself. Is that accurate now?
Absolutely.
So then what are the next steps for you? You've talked a little bit about how you're moving into more of like a content strategy offer, which you and me have talked about a bit. Are you now looking to recruit, or I don't even want to put words in your mouth. What are your next steps now that you've got incredible clients, incredible, testimonials and a track record and probably some great case studies? What are the next steps for you to really scale here?
Well, I already actually have a team around me, so surprisingly enough. I have a bit of a smaller team. I have 4 editors and 1 virtual assistant. That virtual assistant helps pretty much with the posting, and the editors obviously help with the editing. But with that, I'm looking to just scale a larger team and actually get out of the service delivery in sense and becoming like more of the, in terms of the business perspective, the CEO, because and some occasions the bottleneck I've found within my own agency and what I'm building is that I actually fall back into that service delivery a little bit too much, and then that takes away from my ability to scale. So that's definitely a big constraint I'm suffering with. So the main goal is obviously just keep scaling up as much as I can and train my team to be effective and make sure they're actually being able to provide the value I'm providing in terms of content, match the quality, make sure everything's well, and just be able to do it at scale, be able to close more clients and meet deadlines consistently and provide just a really good service. That's pretty much like make sure my fulfillment is locked, and then make sure then I have the capacity to scale. So pretty much that's the goal. Just build a bigger team, land more clients. That's the same stuff to simplify.
Sick. sick. I love it. So then I probably have a two-part question to that. You've recruited multiple people at this point. What's like the biggest, I guess, trait that you look for in someone when you're looking to recruit them? Because I'm sure the team you have right now probably hasn't been the first few people you've hired. I'm sure you've had to maybe churn and burn a couple people here and there, or people have let you down, missed deadlines. What do you look for when you're trying to add someone to the team and let them get involved in these projects?
When it comes to that, initially what I do is I do a trial process. I'll pay him as well. So I'll say, all right, if I want you to join my team, pretty much what I'll do is I'll say, all right, here's the 10-second trial edit. Here's the guidelines. We just want to make sure that you can actually meet the deadlines correctly, and you can meet the criteria of the video, because a lot of editors come in, and this is obviously not everyone, but some editors come in, they come with the Google Drive videos and the portfolios, and some of them actually, even from what I've experienced, actually steal other people's content and portray it as their own.
Yeah. That's definitely a method. And then that's definitely a tricky method out there.
And that's the way to filter it out. I say, all right, 10-second trial edit. You got to edit this video. You'll be paid for it. You'll be compensated. Just let me know how it is. And then that's the best way I filter through. If they deliver on that trial edit, it's the same thing as like what you teach us with value first. If they deliver value to me off that 10-second edit, that's it. Like they're part of the team. Like and then on top of that, obviously, in terms of deadlines, it's kind of a trial run. I'll slowly build them up. I won't put them in and say, all right, edit these videos. You have 10 videos a week to edit. I'll say, okay, we'll slowly build it up. So we'll start off with one, then I'll gradually increase until they're comfortable. And yeah, pretty much that's kind of the system I go about. But yeah, trialing reels, and it just to not make them overwork as well, to respect the actual other editor's time. I don't like to give them a full unpaid sample. Like I understand
Yeah, that's naturally good. I always joke around with the people who I know from Australia. I'm like, you know, if you hire outside of Australia, your business runs 24/7. Like we're like, you're awake at certain hours grinding, they're awake at the other hours while you're asleep. The business is going 24/7. So it's a funny thing with the time zones, where it's like, if you have editors that are in America and I'm in the UK, yeah, they're maybe 5 hours behind, but there's always a gap where someone's asleep. So like for you, it's cool. So like, are you hiring pretty much all over the world? How does the time zones affect things, or is that not that too big of a deal for you? I know you're up right now at midnight, so you always hit the calls late, where like the calls in VP Plus are at like 1 a.m. for you, something like that. Is the time zone an issue for you or no?
Not at all, because I'm a bit of a night owl. I do need to fix. I want to start getting that Ashton Hall routine locked in,
Yeah, bro, 100%. The fucking 4 a.m., bro. You got to get the ice water, the Saratoga water.
I might get some scrutiny for that one, but obviously I do hire, like, because it is cheaper, and I don't underpay. I don't scam people or anything like that. I do hire from like maybe Philippines or something like that, or even Pakistan, just because solely in terms of their currency exchange. I don't see it as an unethical perspective. I just see it just is easier for them. Like if I pay them a specific amount, it's not going to get the same return as it is for someone in the US. Like it genuinely, it helps me more as well. Especially during the beginning, I had a lot of editors used to work for me for cheaper, and genuinely, like in my position, I couldn't, because I wasn't making the income. I couldn't actually provide that income. Like I was transparent. I'm like, I'm fresh. I'm not even making enough income to do that.
I'm just warming up, baby. I'm warming up.
Let's just say if you're willing to like sit with me, and then at the start, I couldn't pay much at all, like nothing. It's, like up to like $5 a video, and she said, all right, fine, like I'm happy to stick with you. And now I'm scaling up consistently and more and more and more, and then it's going up for $30 a video, and then it's just keep going. These are for shorts as well, so it's going up more and more and more. And then hopefully my plan is to, with the team as well, help them win the same way you do with the people in our community.
Nice.
Help them pretty much stack up and make just as much money as I am if they can.
Super sick, brother. I love it. What's the biggest mistake you see editors who are trying to make it like do right now? Because I see so many mistakes, so much countless mistakes. Obviously that's why we built VP Plus, to try and correct those mistakes. And obviously you see we have a ton of wins inside as well, but what's the biggest mistakes you see editors make? This will be
one actually I mentioned on my personal brand too. I think the biggest mistake editors make is actually focusing too much on the editing. They don't focus on the storytelling, the visual, the why they put the visuals in, and the structure of the video in general, and the retention, and they don't focus on the general question of like, would I watch my own video? Like they'll edit the videos kind of a bit subconsciously. They won't actually be aware and analyze their video back to front.
Think about it from the viewer's perspective or the client's perspective.
I think a lot of editors, from what I've found in terms of like people I've been looking for as well, it's not actually a skill issue. Like a lot of them are so good when it comes to skills, but it's actually an understanding issue, understanding of how content can go viral and why hooks perform, why videos perform, why they don't, is kind of, and just the knowledge in general. Like their editing skills are fire, but they just don't have the knowledge to implement. But I feel like definitely if they can just gain more knowledge, do more research on actually how to structure a video and analyze videos, what have been working well, like do that kind of market research. Don't fall into the brain rot, but do the market research to the point where they're like, all right, this video is working? Why is it working? Let me see why. And then on their own videos, look at actual retention graphs, look at data. A lot of people don't do that too, surprisingly.
Yeah, bro.
In my opinion.
Your attention to the strategy side of it, coming at it from a very like intentional, strategic perspective, is clearly why you're having success. I mean, the fact you've done 15 value firsts and you've closed like 30% of them is genuinely a hilarious stat. You're obviously still warming up right now, and I think you're going to continue crushing it, bro. I know you will. There was a different energy for you when you came in VP Plus. It's this literally your success is genuinely not surprising to me at all. But if you lost all your clients, how would you get back to where you are right now?
But for me, I'd jump back in the trenches, do the free work, reach out to anyone I could, and just do the same thing in that way. Like, all right, no matter who it may be, you got to just take what you can get at that time. Like, can't come in with an inflated ego and say, all right, I want to work with this person. You can't pick and choose when you're in that level, in that position. If you look at one of my stories on my personal brand, I did free work for over 3 months for one guy. I didn't get paid a cent for ages. And a lot of other people, free work, I'd work for like the minimal price. My first client was $7 an edit. And then before that, I was still, even until like now, I was still just nice. Like, I didn't want to let go of the stepping stone clients. So even like, you know, recently a couple of weeks ago, I still were with people, like we're still paying good, but it was $10 an edit, but I couldn't really scale with that now. So I had to let go. But that, just do a bunch of the free work, just sit in the trenches for a while, and eventually the dividends will come. And then the case studies are already stuff you can use to get bigger and bigger. Like you said,
it compounds.
It is snowball effect.
100%. It's the snowball effect. It compounds, dude, 1000%. And it's like most people don't want to just like eat shit for a 60, 90 day period. For some people, it's less. If you go super hard, it's less. But it's why I love value first, because I think like even if you're, you know, like you said, 6 out of 10 editor, like I've described myself as countless times before, if you actually just do value first, you're getting naturally better every single time. It's like a, you know, like a live training playground kind of, where like it's like, okay, you're still training, you're still doing your edits, you're getting better, but it gives you a chance to get clients. Like a lot of people go down the tutorial route and they're just endlessly editing practice projects or tutorials, or you know, and there's no possible way it actually leads to a client. If you guys are doing value first out there, you're editing a bunch of edits, you're doing free work, you're approaching them with value first, but you're also getting better with every single edit. It's a live training ground where you actually can get a client from it, which is sick. But we are trying to make it as easy as possible in VP to get clients. Like we've launched the lead scraper, we're launching a bunch of other tools to just try and make it like actually easier for VP students to crush, and try and save you guys a bunch of time with some of the more mundane stuff, because you know, with all the glorification of freelancing, I'm not gonna lie, it takes fucking time. Like it can actually be a grind out here, you know, it absolutely can take some time. But we're launching 3.0. What do you think's been the biggest value VP's brought you, and any kind of advice to anybody in here who maybe isn't in yet?
Honestly, just the community, the courses as well. The courses are insane in terms of what you provide, the framework you give on how to outreach, on how to actually edit videos as well. You got, in terms of editing, like you don't even have to think, there's a multitude of courses and everything there in terms of AI tools, everything. But when it comes to that as well, just a great community, like I mentioned before, people who want to see you win, people who actually celebrate your wins. In a lot of communities I've joined back in the day, you put someone in the group chat, you get ignored. You put someone again, you get ignored. But here, people show you love and people genuinely want to see you win. And the same thing with the Connect tab. The Connect tab is definitely a huge innovation that you've dropped, which is insane, which is just basically you put your link in there and it gets ran up by a lot of editors. And that's basically how I got Belal Muhammad to read that video as well, because these other people in the Connect tab were running up my video. They were giving it a push as well. Even when people comment, I'm pretty sure the owner of the Twitter, they get a reminder as well once the replies are there, once the comments come in as well.
Yeah, if you at them, you can, that's such a good tactic, where it's like, if you guys are, you know, just posting something, maybe you at somebody and they see it one time, if there's then 20 comments, it just boosts it in their notifications like over and over and over again.
Yeah, so I had a few people from the VP Plus crew drop comments on there, and I tested them to helping me close those clients.
Listen, great fucking interview. Put a W in the chat if you guys enjoyed. And Mr. Daniel, where can they find you, brother? I want some people to come run up your socials. Where can we find you?
All right, well, pretty much it's just, I've got Instagram, TikTok, a little bit of YouTube there. I'm not really running much long form content, running the shorts on there, but yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and X are the main accounts. So just pretty much Daniel.Perri, so DANIEL.PERRI, and you can find me on any of those platforms. I appreciate you, Jack, for giving us a good, amazing community to thrive in, and can't wait for 3.0 as well. 3.0 is going to be sick, man. I'm looking forward to that full SaaS build. So
peace, brother.
Excited.
I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Daniel, thank you for your time, brother. All his socials are linked down below. Peace, guys. Take it easy.